This is such a Jared pick.
Right. It has several awkward sex scenes.
Kind of weirdly sleazy, unsavory characters.
Oh, we're talking about the movie.
Yeah, we're jumping right in, apparently.
Really unsatisfying, vague ending.
The ending's not vague.
But I think you like those too, I think,
okay,
Chris.
well,
I don't think the ending's vague.
What happens?
I don't think the ending's vague either.
Yeah. I love movies like this. I like Teddy Bear for the same reason that I feel like when it's got like a small cast of characters and it tells a complete... It's like a short story. It's like reading a great short story. And
Whoa. What do you think happens then? Because I don't know. I thought about it.
I mean, there are possible. It is. I guess it's a little open ended in that you don't know.
He's gonna keep hiding out with his uncle. Was it or
grandfather?
Grandfather. In that thing. Either he's gonna get away with it,
which he seems. Sorry, he seems too old to be the grandchild. I thought he was the son, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But either way, he's gonna hang out there
He says, "My mom told me to come check on you."
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Well, she doesn't."
No, I know he is. I'm just saying, just like Teddy Bear is probably 40 something. This guy
all,
seems a little old. That's all.
He's gonna hang out there and do chores until either he gets caught or he chops all that wood finally.
Jesus.
No, what's going to happen is he's going to stay there until his grandfather dies. Then he's going to leave and he's going to take the 50,000 euros that he has and he's going to go somewhere else and start a new life. Like that's
maybe. I'll shut up in a second, but the best wood chopping in any movie I've ever seen.
The most wood chopping.
Right. But you need that much to know that how good that guy is at chopping wood.
He is.
But here's the thing.
I like when he fucks one up. I like when he fucks one up and he doesn't go and pick it up and try it again. It's just like, nah, fuck that piece of wood. Yeah. And he grabs another one and
there are so many shots. Like, we're going to watch him move every single log with the wheelbarrow. We're going to watch him cut each one up. We're going to watch him split each one.
But it's almost like
through this whole goddamn wood pile.
It would be 45 minutes long if it didn't have all the
wood chopping.
Okay,
but there's something. But isn't there something satisfying about the?
It is.
Saw
it was a
thing
weird. The whole that Monty Python thing. The tinny word, the woody word. The woody things are fun.
I think there's a great hour and 20-minute movie hiding inside this 2 hour.
Inside this 2 hour movie. Yep.
It's not just all the wood cutting. There's also the whole first hour, because I think the inciting incident of this story is actually the bank robbery. That's when we get to the part
obviously
where something happens.
That's the kickoff between the act first and second act.
All the setup. Let me finish. All the setup with her and her pimp. And is she going to go live in the flat and be a higher price pimp, or is she going to stay in the brothel? It's like none of that adds up to shit, and that's a waste of time.
No, I disagree. It adds up to atmosphere.
I get her life. I get his life. I know who these people are. I did not need an hour of it before the bank robbery, which is the inciting incident, and I'll bet you it's an hour before that.
I believe the stuff with her.
45 minutes.
It establishes her profound innocence in this.
Yeah. Well, and I think it also establishes his motivation.
Yes.
Like it's he has to get, well, he wants $80,000 so he can go buy into his buddy's bar in Ibiza.
Right.
What he really needs is $30,000 to get her out of her debt so she doesn't have to be part of that world anymore.
Right.
Because that world is closing in and closing in and closing in on her. And
that world is depicted so vividly.
I'm just saying. I'm saying I agree 100%. It could have been done in less time. Could have been done in half
the pimp's buddy. Yeah, but you have to get to the scene where the pimp's buddy beats the fuck out of her, and then he comes in to rescue her, and then gets chewed out for it.
Right.
And that's when it flips in his head.
Yeah.
That's when he goes to. I've been trying not to go back to this fucking petty Coen Brothers criminal that I was before, and now I'm going to be the Coen Brothers criminal again. Right. And it absolutely is a Coen Brothers criminal through the entire bank robbery.
He's got a big dumb idea about making a bank robbery happen, and it's like, of course, it doesn't
work. How much money does he get out? 50,000 euros.
Not life-changing.
He needs 110,000 euros to do the two things that he wants to do. Less than half of that.
He's going to have to round two more banks.
Right. and he gets his girlfriend killed. Like
Yeah,
it is.
Well, that's the thing about
Coen
her
Brothers
arc is
plot.
that you're just watching this poor Ukrainian woman who went into the life of prostitution. This is the kind of like everything's by the numbers. It's almost like a 1930s moral tale. It's like things just get worse and worse and worse for her.
The weird thing is that prostitution is legal in
Austria.
In Austria,
I didn't know that.
And I don't really understand. That's one thing I don't really understand is the like, what do they have over her? Because at this time, it was completely legal for somebody from Ukraine to go to Austria, like,
and be a prostitute.
I think they just have the debt.
You can be a prostitute there.
You can't pay off the debt.
He had her because of the debt, right?
Right.
But where did that debt come from?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know if that maybe was like her family or
it was the money to get her out.
That's possible. You know, get her through get her out of Ukraine. It could have cost some money.
But I'll tell you guys, the second hour of this film is so good that I ended up, I'm absolutely here because the second hour of this movie is so goddamn good. And I can tell you the exact scene where it turned for me. I mean, the setup is the bank robbery that goes bad and she gets killed.
I had to watch that twice.
The ending's great, by the way, which is another reason I'm giving this a big thumbs up. But to me, the scene where it turned is where he's been quietly watching this relationship that the cop's wife has been building with his grandfather, and then he confronts her outside the house, and he's so fucking mean to her.
I know, as
just like no more la-di-da. I don't want to hear the accordion. No dancing around. You're not welcome here. You act like you know us, and you don't know us. And then I'm like, whoa! And she says, "Do you want to come over to my house tonight? My husband's not home."
This scene.
And I was just like, what? The meter just pegged. I was like, what is going on?
I love the moment after that when he's in her house and he's asking her about her life.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you happy?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Then why do you want to fuck me?"
Why do you want to fuck me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good.
And there's so many good scenes in this movie. But the second time when he comes over and he just sits outside, instead of coming in, he just sits out there until she wanders out and says, "Oh God, you're here."
What does she say? "You're always
scaring me."
Yes.
He does that several times. It's great. That's his motif in this film. Like, whoa, what are you doing here? He's great.
He is scary.
But this film, watching it reminded me, it just because of where it's shot, in the hills outside of like.
I'm sorry, I just saw this wood right now.
I know.
Can't hear
it's semi-rural Austria. With farms and woods like that, and it's got the spruce forest look like redwood forest.
Hitler country,
and it just reminded me so much of where I grew up.
I liked those woods.
Santa Cruz County.
Really
it's just like because it looks identical to this, or even like Sonoma County. It's like there's a universality to this whole thing.
It's beautiful, by the way. This movie is really
an American
lovely
film, and you wouldn't miss it.
It's a gorgeous looking movie, and I really think that the filmmaking is top notch in the sense of think about
Mm-hmm.
when he pulls over into the woods after he realizes that she's been shot.
Yeah.
So I had to watch that. I watched the scene where the cop fires the car 3 times.
Yeah.
Third time cranked because I'm like, did they cheat the sound of the glass breaking? Because the first 2 times I watched it, I couldn't really hear it. Because when they get to the scene where they parked, I'm like, the fucking entire back window is shattered.
Right.
He says,
I love that line.
He shot out the back window.
And I love that line, Tad, because he's sort of there's so many good details in this movie. He's driving away and he kind of does it like he's like, fuck, they shot at him. He's kind of like laughing. Right. He's kind of like, this is exciting, isn't it? Oh my God, I can't believe they shot at us.
He's like,
and we're like, your girl is dying, dude. Like it's so sad.
It is.
I think in a Hollywood movie there would have been a huge glass breaking sound effect in that point in the movie.
Well,
and she would have had like blood coming out of her mouth.
That's what's so great. It's like you don't know what happened. You don't know what just happened, which is more realistic to when shit does happen.
So again, what happened is the bullet went through the window, went through the car seat, hit her in the lung, and then she just
She bled out.
slowly.
I mean, she literally just falls over on him.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
But she also reaches over and grabs his hand. Like she is still
she's still alive
conscious for some part of that.
Right.
And then when he starts to notice, she just collapses on him.
Right.
I thought but again, back to when he pulls over, I thought the visual direction of that whole scene was masterful, because he does most of it in wides.
Oh yeah.
And he's you have to sit there watching from a distance the car with the man in it and his dead girlfriend, and he knows she's dead now.
For a while.
And then he gets out and walks.
And then it cuts to the other wide.
Yeah, the other wide is where he gets out and he starts walking, and you're just like, to me, I don't know why, it was so sad. I was just like, oh my God, this is devastating.
And at the same time, I'm thinking about, okay, what evidence is there? There's the car, there's the car, there's the girl. What evidence is there? Is it going to get tied back to him? I was going through my head. It's a stolen car.
Right.
I was also
he steals the car
in his
and
head.
Immediately puts the gloves on.
Right.
And then, he turns his jacket inside out and all of that stuff. And the only evidence in that car is her, and she's dead.
Right.
Like, he even has her passport, which we see later.
Mhm.
Like he left nothing except for her in that car.
Right. So he's a little smarter than a Coen Brothers.
And he actually could have got away with it.
He's not a dumb. Well,
I think the bank robbery get away with it.
He does. He does.
He does. I think so.
The bank robbery was a little reckless.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a dumb idea.
Thought out.
Yeah.
I love all the women characters in this movie, especially the cop's wife. I mean, she's just so fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm just amazed that the people in this movie are all in, with the exception of the woman who plays Tamara. The people in this movie are in so many things, because they're all in a billion German movies and TV shows.
Oh yeah.
And somehow we've never seen any of them on this before. Because I've seen a couple of things. I've seen a couple of things that the guy who plays the cop is in, and I've seen something that the guy who plays the criminal is in. And I was like, how has Jim not picked 6 movies that these people are in?
Yeah.
Because he tends to pick older foreign films.
I have too. Like in the early to mid 2000s, I was on a kick of Nordic country films. And I think that runner guy is maybe the same guy from this other movie who I really want to pick it, but I forget the name. It's about a guy who is a marathon runner, but what he does is when he goes into he starts the marathon, and then he goes off the track and he goes and robs a bank or or robs a museum, and then he gets back in the line with the runners, and then he
That's
finishes
his alibi. I was running a race that day.
Yes, and then he finishes the fucking marathon, and they're like,
I like that.
That's like Gig and Die Bank, a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Again, a movie that I would figure at least one of these people was in.
No shit.
Yeah,
I was very surprised that it turned out that none of these people were in that movie.
Back to the ending. Do you think the bank robber lets it go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He threw the Makarov into the lake.
Yeah.
Because what the cop
he
said to him,
he threw his gun.
Yeah.
What the cop said to him resonated in two different directions. One, he's gonna be, if he's dead, he doesn't get to feel guilty about this for the rest of his life.
Right.
And then 2, why did you take her?
Yeah.
He insisted.
He puts it on him
because the criminal has a huge level of guilt.
That's
why when he's in his room pacing and crying all the time, he's so guilty.
It's absolute transference. He's blaming the cop for what he got her
No,
into.
it's actually there's 2 levels of guilt in this thing. There's the cop feels guilty for killing her.
Right.
The robber feels guilty for killing her. It's great.
Right.
It
is. It's really good. It's
different things you can't reconcile, basically.
Right. Yeah. And it's a great
story
with some great little twists in it.
And when he's confronted
really good script.
in that, when he's confronted with that, he has 2 responses, and the 2 responses are, I can't kill you because you're living in hell.
Right.
Because anything I do, if I were to kill you right now, it would free you from this pain.
Right.
And then also, you understand the pain that I'm in.
Right. He sees the cop as a human being now.
Yes, he does.
And what a great shot when he first sees the cop and the cop's running, And there's that pan. There's that little pan, and he pulls out the gun.
Yeah.
And
oh my God,
it's just such a beautiful. And it would have, in an American movie, they would have had some score music blasting or some shit.
Yeah,
but there's none of that.
There's nothing.
There's no score in this movie.
No.
Yeah, it's just the sound of the forest. But your heart jumps when he does that. Right. And you go, oh my God, is he going to fucking shoot the guy right now?
The story could have been over.
I knew immediately he's not that guy. He didn't put bullets in the gun when he went.
I knew too, but it's just so beautifully orchestrated that it still made me. It makes you look up, a little bit. Like
I love the moment. I love the moment when she's like, "Don't shoot anybody," and he pulls the gun out and he puts it up against his head. He pulls the trigger, and it's like there's no bullets. I swear.
Right.
Like, I'm not, because he's not that guy.
He's not that guy.
Right. That guy.
Well, what does the pimp say to him in the car? You're not
tough. You're not hard. Right.
But I love, there's another great line where it's his grandfather who says, people who go to the city are two things. They're arrogant or mischievous. And my son is mischievous, or what do you call it? Or a scumbag, or whatever he says.
A scoundrel.
Scoundrel.
He's a scoundrel.
Yeah. You're either arrogant or a scoundrel. My grandson is a scoundrel.
Right.
What a great line.
He's a heathen born and bred is another thing when they're going to church. He's not coming with us. He's a heathen born and bred.
By the way, the grandfather character is great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
there's some poor guy's like stuck out there. He's doing his thing. He's okay.
Watching this
I'm
movie
not
again,
leaving.
It made me want.
They'll carry me out of here.
Watching this movie again, though, made me want a farmhouse.
Yeah,
I want a little farmhouse, dude.
I know,
right? Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, but the problem is if you own a farmhouse, you end up getting shot to death like Clive Owen in The Bourne Identity.
Or like this whole Straw Dogs thing. It's not good.
I mean, if you're gonna get it from, it better be from Clive Owen. That's not too bad.
Well, like I said, I think there's a universality about this whole thing. It just felt like it could be done American, Latin American. It could be done European. It could be done Asian.
Oh, you can do that. You can easily do this in Mexico.
It's a story of revenge and guilt.
It's a small cast, and wherever they have banks and they have farms, this film works.
Yeah.
Banks, farms, and brothels.
Yes, exactly. Those are very common everywhere. So that's the thing.
What's interesting to me too is, unlike America too, I think this is like in so many ways, this is like the anti-American film, and I mean that as a compliment. Like the woman, the wife, the cop's wife, like totally maybe not, I don't know what we would call our like beautiful by stupid Western Americans or like our commercial standards in our country, but I think she's gorgeous and sexy. It's like you know what I'm saying? Like
she's real. She's
real. You could understand how, and same with the criminal. I think he's a handsome man. Like you can in
a rough way.
If he didn't have that shitty haircut, he'd be
right. But I just mean
I never understood the appeal of the dude. I don't
know. I think he's got some heat. He's got
he's got like a members only vibe coming on.
Yeah, dude.
I think the fucking flight jacket that he wears is great. Like
I know. I think he's like
the reversible orange and black jacket.
Yeah, he's kind of like one of like the most interesting guy in the room. You're like, I want to fucking talk to that guy. Like, who is that guy?
Except I would see that haircut. I would immediately say nope.
I did like that very first scene where he's sitting in the hotel room and she knocks on the door and he does a backflip off the bed.
Yeah, love it. That tells you exactly what you need to know about this guy.
That's immediately revealed a lot of character. That's for sure.
What's the only thing in the world that matters to him? Her.
Exactly.
Right.
But also that
why would you end up in this situation?
I felt really fucking bad for the girlfriend.
But when he does that backflip, you go, this guy is spry, he's agile, he's capable, he's fun,
right?
He's a little mysterious.
He's doing it for his own entertainment. Nobody's there.
And he cares about his woman.
Yeah.
Like you learn so much about him in 2 seconds, in one move.
Right. Yeah, fun. That's good. That's good filmmaking, man.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's good direction.
Yeah, good flick. Yeah.
All right, here we go. I also 100% believe that she picked him to have an affair with.
Probably.
To get pregnant because she knows he's not going to be there very long.
Yeah.
Like
he's
interesting.
You mean like he could be the only one that takes her out of there?
Wait, no.
No. You're talking about the cop's wife.
Yeah, there's some fertility issues going on.
Oh, the one.
He's going to get her pregnant and then he's going to leave.
Right.
Well, yeah, we
Right.
didn't even
Not-
talk about that. How great
Well,
is that?
I know,
First of all,
That's
that
a,
plot.
that is another great twist in the story.
Is he like a
And they don't
boyfriend? Is he a
hammer it home,
boyfriend or a
John. They
sperm
treat it
donor? We
so
don't know.
well.
Yeah,
He's a
agreed.
sperm donor. He's
Yeah,
a
he's a
sperm
sperm donor.
He's a
yeah.
sperm donor.
And it's beautiful because
Bitch,
at
how
that
many
point,
times does she say that she still loves her husband, and then she goes to him and is like, "Do not tell him what we did."
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
She's
promise
happily
me.
married.
But my God,
Right.
think about how primitive that is. You know what I mean? It's like this is like
But
caveman
what?
shit.
But this is a but it's a through.
Og
But it's a
can't get me
through
pregnant.
line.
Maybe Glurk can get me pregnant.
Yeah.
But there's no.
It is caveman level.
But there's also
for the whole movie.
But I would make an
that-
argument that there's also no mistake that they do have a connection, and she does find him attractive.
True. I think I saw that too.
She's the only one that cuts through his, sort of
Right. Yes.
His
yes.
wall of
It's
BS.
not purely sperm donor. There's actually some heat
No,
there.
I think there's a connection there.
Yeah.
I think
but
Tad's
she would
right.
but she would never have a relationship with him.
No, he's the bad boy.
Never.
No,
He's
But
a
it's not even just the bad boy. Like on it, there's this whole through line through the whole movie of you have the scene in the beginning where they're having the cookout at the house, and there's the other wife who's obviously extremely pregnant,
right.
and that's where she talks about having the miscarriage and
Right.
and so
all of that
casually,
stuff.
by the way.
right. And then you have several scenes talking about like with her. I don't know if that's her mom or his mom. It's not really established very well, but they're making the dessert, and it's like it's not me, it's him.
Yes, she said it's not me, it's him.
Right.
Yeah,
And
because
then
the
there's
husband
this
is
scene-
sterile.
Right. And then there's the scene where he comes out of the bathroom and he sees the nursery, and then he talks to her like, "Do you have kids?" "No, we don't." "Well, you have a whole nursery up there." "Yeah, I know, but we don't." Like all of that. And then there's the scene where the other cop just had a kid, and like that's when he has his panic attack and all of that.
How beautifully layered is this film? Is beautifully layered.
And what does she
every
say?
character has motivation. Every single one of them.
What does she say to him after the second time they have sex? She says, "I think we did it." Like it's not "I'm pregnant." It's "you got me pregnant."
Right.
Like she's getting this guy. That's why I say sperm
She's
donor.
doing this thing for them as a family, and it's for him too. You know,
Right.
It's
She
a mitzvah.
she gets
But
something
I think
out of it.
both
She
things
gets
are
to
possible
have-
in terms of
both things are possible. She gets something out of it in terms of having this.
Well,
yeah, the general
illicit
social
moment.
and she obviously loves his grandfather very much.
Yeah,
And
that's
he
also
her,
true.
You know, so that's already
a
a
good
well
neighbor or
established
whatever,
good.
right?
Yeah, that's a good established relationship. And then anyway, yeah, I think even talking about this movie's gotten better for me because
And she gets to use that as another excuse to have this tryst that helps her emotionally through this situation, but then also gets to turn around and say to her husband, "We're pregnant now. We're going to have kids."
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
And also, in terms of plot, it is a beautiful ending that now she has something on him because she finds out the truth about who he is, and he has something on her because of what they did.
Right.
So it's this perfect like code of silence now. It's like, okay, I have to go. Okay, bye, and I'm going to go pick some apples. The end.
I know.
Yeah,
the writing of the screenplay. This film explodes my brain. It's so good. It's so good.
It really is.
Like I said, it's like a really good short story.
Jared, take us home, man.
I was going to say something about now I can't even remember because you guys have made so many good points.
That's where you want to be, man.
But well, I guess I already said it. This movie's gotten better after this discussion. You guys have revealed more layers of it to me. I hadn't seen it for a while. I saw it, when it kind of came out, I think I rented it on,
What's the year on it, by the way? I forget.
2008.
2008. But I remember
this went up for the Oscar
it.
for Best Picture, right?
It
No,
was best foreign film.
Yeah. Sorry, Best Foreign.
Yeah, it didn't win, but it was up. But yes, I mean, I think you guys are right. The screenplay is so. Oh, I know what I was going to say. And again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I think there's such a subtlety to the overall. I mean, think about even the conversation when she comes over and tells him and finds out that he is the bank robber. it's done so beautifully and subtly and without big melodramatic emotion and I mean just American film, which I love to death as well. I'm an American, but it just would never.
I mean, it's just her face. Yeah, it's eye acting. It's her looking down at the
Michael Bay, basically.
It's her looking down at the table and seeing the snapshot, and then you see her face change.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. And but she point blank asks him, "Was that you?" And he says, "Yes, it was me."
They just kind of look at each other.
Yes, but they don't even change the volume of their voice. They just
there is a great pause in that where she asks him again, and he looks at her, and stops for a moment, and then nods again. Yes. And it's such a fantastic character detail of like what he wants to say is, I already fucking told you, but that's not the person he is. So he takes that moment and is like, well, I have to trust you now because you're trusting me, and I've already said I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
He nods again.
I feel
and
like
then she says,
masterful direction.
Yeah,
I feel like it's masterful direction in sort of like being reserved.
Yeah,
but having the maximum impact.
I'm just saying that I think the screenplay itself is just so intricate and perfectly realized down the end. Every last thing is tied up at the end with a bow.
I legitimately wish that Jim was here right now because I would like to quiz Jim a little bit about Austrian culture.
Yeah, true.
Because I know a lot about German culture, but I don't know that much about Austrian culture. And even though those two countries are so linked in so many different ways, there's very obviously some differences that I think we're missing as Americans here in terms of like how Austrians talk about relationships and sex and children and things like that.
Yeah.
That I wish we had somebody who had a little bit more knowledge about
that's
that.
Legit. That's legit.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This is it. It's thumbs time. Come on.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
big thumbs up,
dude.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Both your movies are amazing. Thank you, man. Very, very
good picks, Jerry.